Hi guys, Sarah here. Today I'm back with another video, and this one is going to be a tutorial cross review on the basics of Copic Markers. Now I apologise as I had a request for this video a while ago and I haven't actually gotten around to making it because it sort of has school and that gets in the way a little, so this is the first chance I've had in a while to sit down and make a video. If you're new to Copics, you're watching the right video because I'm only teaching the real basics, which are essentially just a little bit about Copics and how to use and store them. It may also come in handy if you're looking to buy Copics because it helps to have a little background info so you know if they're actually worth the money if you're going to buy a set. Now I only got my Copics late last year, so you can't exactly call me an expert, but I'm sure you'll still be able to learn something from me. One of the most common questions is, what are Copics? Copics are pretty much a complicated textile. They use a permanent alcohol-based ink, which is awesome because it's also non-toxic. They come in a small range of different tips, which is good so you can find the right type depending on what style of artwork you do. The other great thing about Copics is the ink cartridges are actually refillable, so you don't have to buy a whole new marker when the ink runs out. Now with Copics, you're not going to have any problems as far as colour range goes because they come in 358 gorgeous colours. Now some aren't available depending on which type of marker you choose, so the easiest way to check this is with one of these Copic Marker hand colour charts, which you can print from copicmarker.com. Now I use mine both to check for colours that are available and also like a little library of what colours I already have. So it really comes in handy when I go to buy new Copics, so I can compare colours and I don't have to take my 2 cases of them with me. Yeah, it's really easy to understand, and it has the little key down the bottom here, which is quite hard to see, but it has 3 different symbols which show the wide, Copic and chow markers because all of the colours are available in the sketch and the various ink refills. So yeah, it shows the 3 types of markers and they're all, you know, scattered around in the corners of each of these little boxes. Yeah, and of course these little numbers in the corners, probably also hard to see, but they're of course the colour numbers which you use to identify each colour. The next thing I'll talk about is types of Copics. If someone told me they couldn't find a Copic marker to suit them, I would be really surprised. I only have them in sketch and chow, which are the 2 most popular types, but there are plenty more available. The sketch markers, which is this one here, are available in all 358 colours, and they have an oval shaped barrel like this, which holds a little more ink than the chow. They have 2 tips on them. This one is a brush tip, which is good for details and blending. And this one here is a medium chisel tip, which is good for large and more solid areas. So, another thing I love about the sketch is that they have their colour number printed on the lid, which makes them easy to find when you're storing them, and you just find the right colour straight away. The other type I have is the chow. They're only available in 180 colours, but they still have a really good range. They have a nice round barrel, which I find a lot easier to grip when I'm colouring with them. They have the same tips as the sketch. You know, again, they have a brush tip, again for details and blending, and the medium chisel tip, which is good for large and more solid areas. So they don't have their colour number printed on the lid, they have it only on the side, but it really doesn't hurt to take a couple extra seconds to find the colour that you want. Most people are like me and they do a little bit of research on Copics and what you can do with them, but they actually forget that they have a price. Now I'll be honest with you, Copics aren't cheap, but if you have a passion for what you do, they're definitely worth it. Depending on where you live, Copics are going to vary in price. They're often cheaper when you buy them online and even cheaper overall in sets, but I have a craft store where I buy mine individually and they have a really reasonable price. A single marker can range between $4 and $7, and a set of 36 can be found for just under $200. If you're considering buying Copics, I really recommend you buy a set because it works out to more than $1 off each marker, which can really save you some money. If you live in Australia, I recommend you get your Copics online from Eckersley's Art and Craft. I buy my sets from them and they have a really reasonable price and also have great deals that come up every now and then, which means you can save a little money. One thing people worry about when they buy Copics is how to store them. Luckily I didn't have this issue because I bought 2 of these Copic marker wallets. They come in 3 different sizes and they each hold a different amount of markers. The smallest holds 24, the medium size, which I have here, holds 36, and the largest holds 72. They have a Velcro strip on the front here, which makes it easy to open and also close as well. And they have a zip pocket on the back, which I used to use for my multi-line and all my extra bits and pieces. They also fold easily, which is handy for when you need to use your markers. They'll hold them in here, in these tiny little individual pockets. And yeah. So yeah, they also have a nice handle on here. Eckersley's have the 36 marker wallet, which is this one, online for $22.95, but I got mine from my local craft store for about $19. If you shop around first, you can compare prices and find the cheapest one, which is what I find easiest. Before you start using Copics, make sure you have the right paper. Regular cartridge paper is not going to do you much good, as it's super thin and it won't be able to handle the multiple layers of ink. You're going to need something a little bit thicker like this stuff here, which you can find at your local craft store. Copics are really straightforward to use, and there's never really a right or wrong way to do it, because it all depends on your personal style and what type of work you plan to do with them. I'm going to show you how I use Copics and teach you some simple techniques which will help you when you come to use them. First off is just colouring with one colour. It's the simplest thing you can do with Copics and doesn't exactly need any practice. I'll start with the square at the top left corner. It's a nice shape to start you off if you're a little nervous, but trust me, you can't stuff it up. I'm going to use my Copic child markers for this. This one is in V12 and I'm going to use the chisel tip, seeing as I'm colouring in a large area. So move the marker in long smooth strokes. And don't worry if you end up getting, like dark spots like this where the lines meet, because unlike normal markers, Copics will actually let the ink blend with itself as it dries. So it will look a little bit stripy for the moment, but you can actually go over it again, so that's what I'll do right now. Okay, next I'm going to do the flower at the top right. This time I'm going to use the brush tip because it makes it heaps easy to colour in the curves and you're less likely to go out of the lines. I'm going to use the same smooth strokes again, just making sure I outline it first and then fill it in. I actually find that you do get a smoother finish with the brush than the chisel tip. Yeah, I don't know why, but I just find that it blends a whole lot easier. So now that you know how to fill in with solid colour, I'm going to teach you how to blend. The one rule to remember when blending with Copics is to never try and blend a light colour into a dark colour. It'll make it look really messy and it may actually ruin the tip of the lighter marker. So I'll start off blending with some pinks. I'm going to use my Charles again, and I'm starting with my lightest colour, which is, let me turn it around, RV10. So I'm going to use those same strokes again, and I'm going to fill in the whole shape. Instead of using my middle colour now, I'm going to go with my darkest, which is RV23. So I'm just going to fill in the area where the darkest shadows will be. So I'm going to use my middle colour, RV21, and I'm going to blend it all together. So don't go too far into the darker colour, and just sort of go along the edge and just blend the two colours out. So to give it a nice smooth finish, I'm just going to go back over again with my lightest colour and blend all the colours together. So I'm now going to teach you how to blend two colours from different colour groups. It's a little trickier than blending with the same colour group, but you'll eventually get the hang of it. So I apologise about this because I've actually already done the first step, but I had issues with my camera and it wouldn't save it. So yeah, I've already done that, so I apologise about that, but I will go over it. So firstly I'm going to use my BG23, which is like a turquoise green colour, and I'm also going to use my B24, which is what I'm going to blend it into. It's all one of my favourite blues. So instead of using the long smooth strokes, I've been using like a flicking motion, and you do that sort of just over halfway down. So when I'm happy with that, I'm going to straight away switch to my B24 and do the flicking motions again, but this time going up from the bottom. Because the colours are lighter in the middle, they're going to blend easier together. Okay, so I'm actually going to repeat the same flicking motion just with both colours until I'm happy with the blending. So I'm going to use another one of my blues right now, which is B23. Because it's a lighter colour, it will blend a bit better with the green. The point of this video is to teach you just the basics of Copics, so if there's anything more you want to know, please don't be afraid to leave me a request. I need anything from plain colouring to blending, anything you want to know, I can help. So thanks for watching guys, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye!